Hello and welcome everyone. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Rust and Rumble event notes and also a little bit of HMS Cheshire. So hello everyone, hopefully everything's going okay, hopefully everyone's well, and good day to announce the worst Las Vegas, Iron Pope and Amateur the Fluffkins. So the first thing that I want to do is take a look at the trailer. Now, I won't be having any of the audio from the trailer, but we'll just have the trailer running as we're just letting people join in. So we'll just start off with the trailer. Now, obviously no audio. The reason being is there's always that potential issue of there being copyright issues when you show trailers. But this gives you a nice idea of the kind of map that we're looking at. So it looks like it's a broken cityscape. And what I'll look to do is obviously just pause it whenever we see something of value on the trailer. So obviously they're going to start going over the commanders and the ships. Most of you have probably already seen this trailer earlier today. So they're just talking about the commanders, so I might just quickly skip through the commanders, because the really interesting thing is when it comes to them actually showing a bit of the actual gameplay later into this trailer. Let's see, they talk about him. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, after him, there's a bit where they just show a bit of the gameplay, probably from here. And I'll just pause it when we see something good. So obviously again it's just showcasing a bit of the map as well as we're going through. And then this is where they kind of introduce the mode. So I'm just going to pause it there. I'll get rid of that. So there, this gives a nice idea of what we're looking at when we are playing this. Hello Las Vegas and hello there it was. Now I've seen it in action, looks pretty cool. That's fair enough. There it was. At the very least I'll have something to grind after completing the weekly habit. That's fair enough, fair enough. So this is just a quick pause of obviously them testing it. And they're playing against bots, which is amusing. But obviously you can see at the top we have objectives Q, R, S and T. And looking at the map, you can kind of see that R's nice and open. T looks like it's got some closure with islands to its north. Going with S looks like it's in surrounded by islands, and same with Q's definitely got islands on three sides. So it's going to be interesting to see how these objectives actually impact on the game, where the spawns are going to be, because a lot of the action seems to be focused in the center, but just looking at, say, the spawns, I guess you can kind of see that. I suspect they'll probably put one here, one back here, but it's also trying to think they're going to have to try and put people within a decent proximity. Maybe it would be someone there, someone over here, someone up there, someone there. And then you're probably going to move into an objective, end up getting into a fight with the nearest enemy division, and then continuing from there. Now, as you can see, we don't have an example of what the third colour is, but we know that the enemies are going to be basically red, orange, and there's going to be another colour, and you're always going to be the blue, the friendly team. So it is your team versus 3 other teams. And it's basically, if you remember the April Fool's duck mode, then you are looking at this being team deathmatch instead. Let's see. Now, it's starting on the 19th, and I'll just play a little bit more of this and just see where we get. Because obviously you're earning tabs through completing it, and I think they're just showcasing a bit more of the ships, so I don't think there's too much more for us to really look at here. So I'm just going to minimize that and pause it, and we can make a start in the patch notes, and I can turn Colonel Bogey's march off. Hopefully you can hear me. I really hope you can hear me. I mean, it'd be embarrassing if I've just been rattling away on my own. Owen, unfortunately I thought the event started October the 16th, now it's 19th. Gotta go back to school, unfortunately. No, fair enough. Rightio. So going down through the patch notes, well, it's not really patch notes, I guess it's just event notes, isn't it? Las Vegas, laugh out loud, yes, loud and clear. Thank God. So Halloween's drawing near, and the Rust and Rumble gets you down and dirty. So it's for pitting 4 teams of destroyers against each other in post-apocalyptic setting. We're brawling to exhaustion. And note it's to exhaustion, and I think some of us are going to be exhausted with this game mode when we get to the end of it, and we'll see why when we get towards the end of these notes. However, as it says, starting October the 16th and running all the way to November the 9th, so it's going to be open for a large majority of this patch. You're looking at it's being open for week 3, week 4 and week 5, so literally taking us up to the next patch in November. Take control of 3 specially prepared destroyers, basically the Z-23, the Ognavoy and the Benham, but they are slightly different to the ones that you'll get in standard play, so some of those things will be mentioned down below, but obviously one thing to note is they will not have smoke screens or smoke generators, so they're basically French destroyers, but also there's no concealment, so you're going to be detected the entire time, so it's down to your shooting skills and your maneuvering skills, so that's quite interesting to see. So I guess it's kind of like playing in a Russian destroyer because you're always going to be spotted, and playing in a French destroyer because you haven't got a smoke screen to hide in. I guess you could kind of say. They all come with different sets of consumables, and we'll have a look at those later on. Now, one thing it says is basically when we get these ships, we're also going to get access to the 3 commanders, especially for the mode, and they're going to be fully ranked. So that means you're going to have all the tricks and tips up their sleeves, I guess you could say. So that means it's going to be quite interesting. But obviously, when the event ends, you're not going to be able to keep these commanders unless you've purchased them or been rewarded them separately. So basically, the commanders are going to be separate for the mode. So going on to the battle itself, it's about scoring tabs. Tabs is that like a fizzy pop can ring pull on the top that you get, I guess you could say, and it's all about capturing the areas and killing the enemy ships. And basically, it's like standard mode. I'm just seeing if there was anything worth mentioning. Here, yeah. So they talk about basically the strategy is to get as many of these tabs as you can. The ultimate prize being the Soviet destroyer, the Ognavoy. We'll get onto the Ognavoy. Obviously, we haven't got any stats released for her as yet, but the only thing we've kind of been hinted at, she will be coming with 4-kilometer torpedoes, at least in the event game mode, or whether she has 4-kilometer torpedoes in the normal game mode is going to be I guess we'll have to wait and see. And also they say we can purchase the commanders for 10,000 tabs. So the actual the value of this campaign currency does seem to be less than the campaign currency that we've had in previous campaigns. See, and then what's the health pool on the Cheshire? That is 1 healthy girl. No, that's right. I've already taken those stats down. So we'll look at the Cheshire at the end. Cheshire and the new event ship. Yeah, no, getting 2 new premium ships is interesting. I would have thought they would have held the Cheshire off until the 4th or 5th week. You know, trying to give us something later on. But it seems like they kind of they're giving it to us early. Oh, and I'm going to be good at this because I only play French DDs. No, fair enough. Everyone to their own. I mostly play British, so I'm a little bit disappointed. I guess you could say. So one thing they talk about here is obviously we can upgrade these ships. We can upgrade them to a higher tier, I guess you can say. So everyone's going to have access to a tier 1 ship, and then you can upgrade it to a tier 2, and then you can upgrade it to a tier 3. And this is where it gets kind of interesting, and I've had to crack up my calculator and take a proper look at this. But what you're looking at is that by ensuring the best performance enable you to complete additional missions. Missions earn you extra currency and are available daily. So what you got to take into account is there's going to be daily missions for playing playing one or any of the event destroyers which are ranked up to tier 2, and any or a single of the event destroyers ranked up to tier 3. Now it says the way it says daily missions, and then you have 15 times by 35. So that means I think there's 15 steps to this mission. Now whether it's get 15 wins or just play 15 games, I suspect it might be just play 15 games. But what you got to think is that each day, a tier 2 of these destroyers will be able to earn you 525 taps. And it's going to cost you 3,500 taps to upgrade it to tier 2. So it's going to take you 7 days of completing the daily challenge in order for that destroyer to pay itself off, if you get what I mean. Then for a tier 3 destroyer, it's going to cost you 4,500 tabs to upgrade it from tier 2 to tier 3, but you'll get 1,050 tabs back daily if you complete the daily missions, and that means you'll be able to complete it in, let's say, 5 days. It's best to round it up, really, because that's more accurate. You're not going to go, oh, I'm halfway through it, I'm going to call that half a day. No, you're going to play the whole day if you're going to do it. So that's just something to bear in mind if you decide to invest your tabs into these event destroyers, which is you're not going to get anything back from it other than more tabs, but you're going to have to bear in mind it's going to take you 7 days to pay off the upgrade to tier 2 and 5 days to pay off the upgrade to tier 3. Obviously that's only with daily missions. That doesn't include any tabs that you earn through playing the battles, so obviously the number of days may actually be less, or you can just call the amount of tabs that you earn daily as a bonus. Hello, Mixer Gamer. Good to see you. That's Vegas. I guess we could speculate that the event will last 15 days. No, because the event's lasting from the 19th and 19th until the 9th. So I think it's daily. It's maybe 15 missions, 15 daily missions, and each one giving you 35 tabs. Because that would be the event's definitely going on longer than 15 days. And then I'm going to grind one full day and see what it nets me. No, that's fair enough. That's something I'm in two minds about this game mode, and I'll explain my thought processes later on in regards to that. So obviously you amass tabs. You can spend them on the commanders. I think that's like buying the commanders. You can spend them on getting permanent camouflage skins for the Z23, or getting yourself the Ognevi, or you can get some of that Rust Bucket disposable camos. Personally, the Rust Bucket camos I don't like, but it'd be interesting to see what the chat's responses to the Rust Bucket camos at the moment is, because obviously, hopefully some of you have been able to actually unlock some of those disposable camos from the campaign. Personally, I think it looks like you've rubbed feces matter all over your ship. However, some of you may disagree and think it looks quite nice. Dave, so you need 30,000 tabs for all 3 commanders? Yes. We'll talk about that later. So the ships. This is where it talks about the upgrading. So basically, you're going to start off with a tier 1. If you want to upgrade to a tier 2, it's going to cost you 3,500 tabs. And then if you want to upgrade from a tier 2 to a tier 4, it's going to cost a tier 2 to a tier 3. It's going to cost you 4,500 tabs. So that's quite a hefty investment. So, but obviously you can get some of your investment back if you play these destroyers over a number of days. So it's kind of like the more you spend on it, the more you got to play it to try and get your money's worth out of it, I guess. At the end of the day, it's all free, so you're not really putting any money into it. But like, if you know what I mean, you just try not to waste it, if you know what I mean. But here's the sting in the tail. So if you have a tier 1 ship, it's free to play this mode. It's not going to cost you any credits. If you have a tier 2, it's going to cost you 15,000 credits. And then if you're going to play tier 2 is going to cost you 15,000 credits. If you upgrade your destroyer to tier 3, you're looking at 110,000 credits. And I think the big question is, how much credits are you actually going to make back out of this? That's the big question. Now, obviously, there is the exception for the showers that you spend in combat. So no matter what, you're going to have some form of service cost, but there is a buying cost as well, and that hefty 110,000 credits. It's going to be interesting to see how much credits you make out of this game mode. Because it could be that they've made it where if you play tier 3 you end up making a loss, and that's going to be the interesting thing. And then was time is money, very much true, because when you think about time is playing the game, grinding the game, getting your credits, moving your tech tree ships on, and this is where is this event mode going to be worthwhile. And then was if I wanted that ship for 32,000, I'm definitely going to need to get a level 3 ship. Yes, no, very true, very true. Now this is where they go over the actual destroyers. So the when you go, so the Greasy Sam is the Benham basically, and she's got a engine boost which is 10% rather than 8%, and she also has an ability to reduce incoming damage by 50%. Now, when you upgrade her from tier 1 to tier 2, you reduce the torpedo reload time, you reduce the chance of catching fire, you increase the HP pool, and you decrease the rudder shift. So I think, I mean, as we go through it, we'll note it, but from what I'm seeing, upgrading your ship from tier 1 to tier 2 for 3,500 tabs seems possibly worthwhile from a gameplay advantage. It's the upgrade from tier 2 to tier 3 when you consider that's going to cost you 4,500 tabs. It's going to cost you 110,000 credits per game, and the amount of increase in ship ability is only an increase in range and a decrease in reload speed. It's going to be a hard one to justify unless you see yourself playing this a lot and grinding it a lot, and if you have something that you really want at the end of this. And we'll look at that. Now, the Lazarus is obviously the Ognevi, and one thing to note, right, she's got 4-kilometer torpedoes. So will the tier 6 Ognevi come with 4-kilometer torpedoes in the standard game? I hope not. I really do. I'm sick to death of 4-kilometer torpedoes. It's the best way to put it. Dave, it sounds like a lot of grinding. It does. Owen, anyone play War Thunder? Personally, no. I've watched a bit, but I've never played it. My feet are firmly set in World Warships though nowadays. I was just going to say that. How many credits do you win back? Does this mean the ship service cost is tied to shells? Ship service costs, obviously there's a buy-in. It's like standard. There's a buy-in for the tier, and then it can fluctuate to up to 10%, which is like the service cost, which is like in relation to like ammunition and fuel and things like that. Owen, I'm going to try my best to get the Ognevi. No, fair enough. It's always worth a go. If I can't get the ship from then I'm going to try the American Commander. Okay, no, that's fair enough. Early Macaroni, I'm reading that right. You can get up to 17,500 HP. Yes, you are reading that right. But then I think it does look like they've buffed the amount of HP on these destroyers to make them last a little bit longer. Next to Gamer, good to see you. How are you doing? Doing all right myself. Las Vegas, do they say whether their tiers will be kept separate, or will there be a situation where we can be in tier 1 ships and going up against tier 3 ships? They don't say, but I would suspect that they're just going to bung all the tiers of destroyers into the same game. And I think that's what it's basically. You're going to be upgrading your ship to get a bit of a tabs advantage in earning tabs, but also maybe a bit of a gaming advantage by having a a slightly better ship. So continuing about the old Navy version of it in the game. Obviously, we're looking again reduced. This one comes with the reduced main battery reload time here. Also, increase in shell damage as well. Increases in AP shell damage. HP pool obviously goes up again. Chance of being set on fire reduced, and rudder shift increases as well. And then again, the jump from the tier 2 to the tier 3 version of the ship does. Whether it makes complete economical sense, I'm not sure. I think it might be one of those where you're going to have to really look into the actual game mode and see. I think I read that one. No, they don't say neither here nor there. Yeah, next in the video, there are 4 teams, 3 players each team. Yeah, and the thing is, I think they're going to let us mix and match whatever destroyer mixes and tiers together. Going on to the Rascal, now this is obviously the Z23, and so it does come with sonar, which will pick up torpedoes at 6 kilometers range. I think this might end up being the one I go for. It's the kind of thing I go for. Obviously, going from the tier 2 to tier 1 to tier 2, I should say, you're increasing your gun caliber. But amusingly, it doesn't say anything about reload time, but you would kind of suspect that increasing the gun caliber would have some form of effect on reload time. However, if there is none, then that's actually quite a nice buff, because obviously it does come with the improved HE shell damage, AP shell damage, and fire chance. Again, HP pool, and looking at tier 2, you're looking at 19,500. It's going to be interesting to see whether they allow us to put inspirations on these commanders, because I could see a William Sims being stuck onto one of the commanders. Quite a cheeky little way of getting a bit more HP out of your destroyers there. Obviously, chance of catching fire has been reduced, rudder shifts decreased, torpedo range is ridiculous, really. 9.5 for a destroyer versus destroyer combat. I mean, most of the destroyer versus destroyer combat is going to be knife fighting at about 8 to 4 kilometers, maybe closer, so it's going to be quite interesting. And obviously, then this is where, again, you're having to make that economical decision. Does the upgrade from the tier 2 to the tier 3 destroyer make economical sense again? Because you are looking at simply just increasing your range and the number of guns. So it's really, I think until we actually get our hands on the game mode and actually work it out, it's going to be hard to try and balance off the trade-offs of being ranking up your Halloween event ship to tier 3 for that amount of tabs, when you consider 4,500 tabs plus 3,500 tabs. You're pretty much mostly on your way to a commander, if you think about it that way. Yeah, you're only 2,000 tabs off of having a commander. Oh, Owen, if you're off, cheerio. Good to see you though. I should usually do the usual plug. If you can, give the stream a thumbs up. But yeah, this is just more like a nice little conversation. I'm going through the notes, and then we can have a bit of a chat between us all. So obviously they're going over the 3 commanders. One thing to note, important note, the completed skill sets for the event commanders and the versions of them that will be available as rewards for tabs differ a little. So please make sure you check their skills before you obtain them. So please don't play this event and go, I really like this commander. They do absolutely brilliant in this event ship. I can't wait to use them. And you go and purchase them and realize, oh, that skill that I really liked isn't actually there or isn't as good. So please bear in mind that important note. That is quite, please bear that in mind. Obviously, the exact differences, I'm sure some of the official CCs who do have access to those commanders already would be able to probably discuss that already. I'm sure some of them have probably already done videos today. So that's about it. But the nice one here is obviously with your free event commanders, you can put them at any of the event ships. So you're not tied to having to have the German commander in the German ship. You can have the German commander in the American ship, and so vice versa. So you can have any of the 3 event commanders in any of the 3 event ships. But obviously, if you decide to purchase them, obviously the skills can be slightly different. It does go over the skills here, and they're also going to be fixed to their nations. So obviously we have Sergio Splendento. It's for the Russians. So basically his base trait improves the traverse speed of the destroyer's guns. That could be an interesting trait considering the slow traverse speed of the Russian destroyers. And then he has a skill called Iron Shod. This decreases the chances of steering gears and engine modules being incapacitated by 20% to 80%, but considering they've recently done this as part of the actual tech tree, how valuable that skill is actually going to be. It's kind of like they've nerfed his skill by redoing the Russian destroyers. So his value to the Russian destroyer tech tree is possibly questionable. Next, did we cover the Cheshire? Not yet. I'm going to cover at the end. And Las Vegas. I have 2 of the commanders from crates already. Haven't bothered to put promotion orders into them to test out though. No, that's fair enough. And next name was no. Blue Furion. There's yeah. People have been questioning whether it's a man or a woman. Well, I'm not going to get involved in that. So her base trait, Ride on the Wind, improves the destroyer maximum speed. That's interesting, but not for German destroyers. That would be a very interesting inspiration for the French. I'm just picturing a Le Fantasque with one of the French commanders in there, inspired by Bruce Fraser, and Blue Furion with its engine boost on. See if we can get that magic 60 knots. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? I'm sure we could do it. I'm sure we could get the fantastic 60 knots. Right, her skill is Mosquito Brutes, decrease your torpedo's visibility by 50 meters to 150 meters. And that's quite an interesting one, considering that the visibility of the German torpedoes is actually quite good. So that does actually make their torpedoes quite interesting. However, it does it reduces the reload time. Again, that's nice, but it reduces their damage. And German torpedoes are some of the weakest torpedoes for their tier at most tiers. The German torpedoes don't hit as hard as some of the other nations. I guess it's to try and counter their short detectability and speed and decent range. So it's making them better at the same time as making it worse. So it is a bit of an interesting trade-off. Then we have Vincent Mordoff for the Americans. His base trait is Waste Not, which reduces the reload time of the destroyer's main battery by 0.3 up to 6%. Now, I think that sounds like a really interesting skill for the American destroyers with their rapid fire. I could see a Fletcher reload build being very interesting with that commander if his traits allow you to do that. And then his other ability, his skill I should say, is Shouted Arms, which decreases the chances of your ship's main battery and torpedo launcher modules being incapacitated by 25% to 100%. Does that mean if you get to 100%, your torpedo launcher and your main battery modules cannot be destroyed? That's interesting. That would make your modules invincible, I guess you could say. That could be a very interesting trait. Okay, I think out of those, I think the German commander, obviously we don't see the entire skill tree. We only get their unique skill, but the German commander, the base trait's interesting if you want to use it as an inspiration, but the unique skill doesn't seem that I don't think, for me, for my gameplay, I don't think that's worthwhile. Obviously, your mileage may differ. For the Soviets, it's an interesting base skill for the Soviets, but the Iron Shod skill, it's questionable how useful that's going to be considering the recent reduction in those chances in that tech tree. And the American Destroyer Commander actually sounds really, really quite interesting. Dave, no, they will be still destroyed. They won't be knocked out yet, so they can't be incapacitated, but they can be still destroyed. My apologies. They're not completely invincible. You're just never going to lose them unless they're gone. Which is quite interesting. Right, the rewards, and I'm going to confess I'm not exactly super impressed by this section. I was kind of hoping they might do a little bit more, but it is what it is. So as you'll see, the Destroyer Ognevi is the most expensive reward of the bunch. By eliminating, by our estimates, it will require you to play 200 rounds of Rust and Rumble if you get the upgraded ships. So that means you're going to have to upgrade your ship to tier 3, which is going to cost you 8,000 tabs in order to then play 200 games to then earn enough tabs to get the Russian destroyer. Now 200 games. Now let's assume it's a standard game length of 15 minutes. And I mean, some games obviously do finish quite quickly, but let's just say a majority of the games do actually go their full distance. So you're looking at 200 games, each one taking you 15 minutes. That's 3,000 minutes of time. Right, divide that by hours, you're looking at that being 50 hours. Now, let me be... I mean, most people are going to play 3, maybe 4 hours in the evening if they're lucky. So let's say divide by 3, that is going to take you 16 days. You've got 3 weeks to do it. So it's going to take you 2 and a bit weeks, 17 days of playing every day for 3 hours, only playing the Rust and Rumble game mode in order to purchase the Ognevi. That sounds like a horrible grind. That sounds horrible. That's just me throwing out some numbers and making some assumptions there. Obviously, your mileage may vary. You might play more a day. You might do better in a game per day. Or it could be the other way around where you play less a day or you don't upgrade your ships all the way. Oh, so that's horrible, but also you've got to consider that for 30,000 tabs, you could also buy all 3 of the commanders. Now, the permanent camouflage skins for the tier, only the Z23, okay, I should mention, and it's only a grade 1 camo, is going to cost you 1,500 tabs. So almost... You're looking at 2 tabs per doubloon is the best way to put it. And then the only other thing on offer in the store is to buy the 5 rust bucket disposable camouflages, which look like you've smeared poo all over your boat. So I would have hoped there would have been more. I really do. I would hope that maybe there would have been the ability to buy commander crates or Halloween containers or just something else, something else to maybe make that up. Oh, next area, I've just seen that. And 2-inch matches, the cost will become expensive. 110. Oh god, yeah, 200 times by 110,000. That is gonna cost you. Oh, bloody hell! It's gonna cost you 22 million credits of game entry fee. Now, obviously, you're going to make some of that back, but as just a flat rate, that's how many. That is a lot. This is nuts. Next we're going. I'm mostly interested in the blue. In blue, then Vincent. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. And then was death by 1,000 cuts, reduce the damage, but keep firing those torpedoes and cause some flooding. That's fair enough, but with a reduced torpedo warhead, the chances of flooding are going to be quite low. Las Vegas, I want to take a look at the Ognevian game before committing to that grind. Yeah, no, I completely appreciate that. Which is on the top of the daily normal play. I was hoping the normal currency rewards like probation orders. That's what I'm on about. Yeah, Vash, you hit the nail on the head. Like that for an event where we are going to be earning quite a lot. It's going to be quite a bare store, and considering that some of us may have already got some of these commanders, there's even less in the store. Some of us may even have some of these camouflages. There's even less in the store. It would have been nice to see, like you said, promotion orders, maybe normal camouflages, maybe insignia, personal accommodation. They could have mixed up a little bit more, but maybe I'm just being a bit grumpy. Next story. I am also looking forward to the breakdown of the non-event version of the Ognevi. No, that's going to be interesting. Unfortunately, the best I could probably do is from the store, is the best way to put it. Dave, yes, I assume that there will be Halloween crates for sale, otherwise it's way too much grind. They haven't said anything. That's the thing. There's no mention in this entire event commentary that there's going to be any way to actually access Halloween crates, which is a shame. Anyway, unless anyone has any questions in regards to the Halloween event, I will probably bring up Cheshire on the screen and have a quick look through the stats. Nathan said, "Need some help." Do you need help, or are you asking me if I need help? Anyway, Cheshire, not Cheshire. I have had to re-educate myself recently because I would have always called it Cheshire. However, when I was doing some research into the Cheshire by watching World of Warships PC console gameplay and reviews by World of Warships community contributors for that version of the game, all of the Americans kept calling it Cheshire. And unfortunately, that then got stuck in my head. So I've had to then re-educate myself again and get back to my usual Anglo language of Cheshire. So it's almost like it's very, very strange English is, I have to confess, or Queens, I should say. Anyway, I'll just quickly bring up my spreadsheets, just so you know what it's like. These are my holy spreadsheets with everything in it. Without those spreadsheets, you need, with the number of ships in the game these days, you have. I think for the kind of reviews I do, I have to put it all into spreadsheets. Nathan Zed, I'm a new player to World of Warships. Is that World of Warships Legends or just World of Warships? If it's World of Warships Legends, tell me, Nathan, how many days have you been playing? Because if you haven't been playing for long, I might have a promotional code that I could possibly let you have. The promotional code is only valid for players who've been playing the game up to 3 days. So if you've been playing the game for less than 3 days, I do have some codes that I can actually hand out because of Victory at Sea. Anyways, those crates should definitely be there. Why else? Why else put the crates? That's the thing. Yeah, they should have mentioned it. But it would have been the same. Damn, I got the same infection as well. Ooh, I hope that's not. Anyway, the saying it wrong. Yes. Yeah, no, it took me a little while. I've been playing it 9 days. I can't. Unfortunately, that means I won't be able to use these codes. But yeah, well, I guess the best advice, Nathan, is just watch some community contributors, I guess you could say. Whether they're the big ones which are official or the small ones like myself which are unofficial. It's always best there, and I'd always recommend the sorry, I've just got to do it here. I should always just make sure that this link is available because I'm always throwing it out there. If I go to the actual World of Warships page and then I go to the playlists. No, I don't want Legends. Legends hasn't got a proper playlist. Like playlists. I think some of you are probably already knowing what I'm going to be throwing out there. Where is it? Viewful playlist. Share, copy. Right, Nathan, I would always highly recommend watching at least some of the videos from this playlist, which are from the World of Warships PC version of the game. That playlist is an absolute godsend. Even I still refer back to it quite a lot. So it's a good playlist because a lot of the mechanics are transferable over to this game. With the Cheshire name, yeah, I know what you mean. Next we go. Keep watching YouTube, Nathan. The fact that you are trying to learn is better. Yeah. No, that's the thing. Watching other people and also picking up in games we're going on. Anyway, we were going to go through the Cheshire. So from some of the stats, obviously we can see that she has a HP pool of 42,500 for the tier, and in comparison to the existing premiums in the game, that is the highest HP base. That's That's really, really quite interesting. And then considering she's coming with a repair party, and if I had to hedge my bets, I'd say that that repair party is going to be a bit of a monster repair party, maybe something similar to HMS London that we recently had. So I suspect she's going to have the largest HP pool as well for tier 6. However, armor values, I think you can start to, I mean, we'll look at it here, but you can see that from this side, the only part of the armoured bout is here. So she's got a lot of thin armour, especially up the front, especially along the side. She's not gonna want to take it in the front or the rear because she's got that flat stern. So she's gonna get citadelled through the rear. You can see that the citadel is pretty boxy as well, but it is mostly below the water level, apart from in the centre. The turrets appear to be quite well armoured, but the superstructure is very thinly plated. So, survivability wise, I would say that she's going to be very similar to the Fiji. She's just going to be a big Fiji with no smoke. No was. It's a shame it does not have British smoke. I know what you mean, but I think, fingers crossed, I think they balanced her out right because she does come with that monster heal. I hope. So we don't have any armor values as yet, but obviously we can look at that armored detail, I guess you could say, and to elaborate some things from there. One thing to mention is she does have a torpedo reduction, or torpedo bulge, reduces incoming torpedo damage by 19%. This is on par with the Zara, the recently introduced tier 6 Italian cruiser. So basically equal to best at the tier. Now, when we go onto the gun caliber, this is where it's quite interesting. 234 millimeters. Basically, these are 9-inch guns. So these are basically Churchill's 9-inch guns. So it's going to be quite interesting there. They're going to hit hard. And when it comes to hitting hard, we'll elaborate a bit more. Now, she's only got 12 of these guns. But then again, that's not actually too bad when you consider the York has 8 guns, New Orleans has 9 guns, Maiku has 10, Fiji 12, Helena 15, Algeria 8, Zara 8, Shaw's 12. So you're not exactly... You're mid-pack. You're quite happily in the mid-pack, I'd say. You're not exactly running away with a number of guns, but you're not behind as well. So that's going to be quite interesting. Now, the range of these guns, 14.9 kilometers. Nothing special, but nothing poor. Pretty much average range. Reload time. Now, this is really the sting in the tail. 17 seconds. That is the longest reload time. But then you've got the biggest caliber, so I guess it's to be expected. Traverse speed of these turrets is 25.7. That's pretty reasonable. That puts you on par with the Algeria and the Zara and the Fiji. So quite nippy turrets, I guess you could say, which is quite nice. HE damage, 3,850. Obviously, big caliber guns, they're going to hit hard. This is the highest HE damage. So actually per shell, I should say. Fire chance, 24%. 24%. She is going to be a beautiful fire starter. You got to think, if you hit 4 of your 6, 4 of your 12? 3, 6. No, she's got 9 guns. I do apologise, I have made a mistake. She's got 9 guns. She's got 4 up front and 2 at the rear. Okay, 9 guns. You're still not out the pack, though, I guess you could say. Alright, that's going to change her DPM. I'm glad we didn't get to that. So 24. So if you get... No, 2, 4, 6. She's got 6 guns. I am being an absolute prat. I do apologise. 6 guns. Okay, yeah, she's got the least guns now. So we've revised that we literally have to during the stream. I will double check the spreadsheets when they actually release the ship, because you never know what they might change. Okay, so only 6 guns. So actually, you got the least amount of guns. Average range, really slow reload speed, decent turret traverse speed, highest HE shell damage, highest fire chance, highest AP shell damage, but your DPM is terrible. High explosive DPM is worse than the Zara. Same with your AP DPM. and fires per minute is the worst as well. That makes one. Dave, she's only got six main guns. Yeah, we got there eventually. I do apologise. Oh, I wish she had 12. Oh, I wish. My apologies. It's because when I was doing this, originally it was a bit blurry when I was looking at the image because it didn't maximise that problem that well. I typed in what I thought I saw. I do apologise. Number of launchers. So she's got 2 torpedo launchers. Each launcher is a quadruple launcher. You've got one on your port side, one on your starboard side. Reload time 96 seconds. That's 24 seconds per tube. So better than average reload time per tube, but slower than average reload time for the entire launcher. Torpedo damage is 15,433, which is better than average. Detectability of the torpedoes is 1.3 kilometers, which is average. Range of the torpedoes is 8 kilometers, which again is average for the tier. Speed of the torpedoes is 61 knots, which is just below average. Detectability time for those torpedoes, call it average is the best way to put it. Speed of the ship, 34 knots, which is actually quite nice. You're actually quite fast. You're faster than all of the Tetri ships apart from the Shores. And you're the fastest premium as well. So it's almost like she's a bit like she's not a battle cruiser, but you get that kind of idea. Dave, she's a support ship. Most definitely, she is definitely a support ship that's going to like to play at range. Possibly very similar to the way, similar to the way that a lot of cruisers play. Then it was those secondaries seem pretty good for a cruiser. Yeah, they're the let's see. They're the good lord, the 114. So what are they? They're 4.5 inch. Yeah, 4.5 inch secondaries. 8 mounts of 2, so that means you've got 4 mounts on each side, so you've got 8 guns per side. High explosives. Yeah, the secondaries do look actually quite good. They're the same turrets that you can. Is it on the battle class and the daring class destroyers? Yeah, no, it's interesting secondaries. I guess they kind of had to give us some decent secondaries considering that her main battery reload time is so slow. The turning radius on this ship is massive. It's not as big as the Mayuku or the Shores, but it is larger than the rest of them is the best way to put it. Going on to the rudder shift time, 10.5 second rudder shift. It's the slowest rudder shift apart from what the French premium at this tier. So Las Vegas. So it has the HE like the Belfast, but no smoke and long reload. It seems like an American cruiser. She's a British heavy cruiser. She's going to want to stay at range, or working in the division with someone who has smoke could be a very interesting one. I could imagine Cheshire would very much like to team up with a Benson, which would lay a massive smoke screen, and then the Cheshire just sits in it and pounds the enemy to dust. That does sound like an interesting combo. Detectability, and this is quite interesting. 11.1 kilometer detectability by ship. Now, that's quite interesting because that's really quite stealthy. I mean, the only tech tree cruiser with better stealth than you is actually the Zara. So that's something to take away. Detectability by air is 7 kilometers, and that's average for the tier. Now, also, we don't have any more details, so that's literally just the details taken out of what you can see here. But obviously, you can see that she has a repair party, and I'm expecting that to be a monster repair party, very similar to the HMS London. She's also got sonar. Now, the question is, what kind of sonar is she going to get? Is she going to get bog standard sonar for the tier, which is going to be detect ships at 4.2 kilometers, detects torpedoes at 2.9 kilometers with a 94 second duration and 180 second reload? Or is she going to get something a bit more interesting? I mean, potentially they could maybe give her HMS Exeter sonar. Okay, yes, Exeter is a tier lower, but being able to pick up ships at 5.1 kilometers range, torpedoes at 3.5 kilometers range, and have a duration of 112 seconds and 180 second reload. That could be quite interesting. I think if she comes with Exeter smokescreen, her value is going to be quite interesting because she's going to have that aggressive sonar. I really hope they don't give a HMS London sonar though, because the HMS London sonar's pretty poor for her tier. It only picks up ships at 3.5 kilometers range, torpedoes at 2.5 kilometers range. It does have 180-second duration, I should say, but it does have 120-second reload. So that's... I'm hoping it's Exeter or standard sonar for the tier, not London sonar. But all in all, she looks interesting, and I'll just quickly close down my spreadsheets. Yeah, I do want to save them, thank you. And I'll just go through some of the things. So she's coming available on the 19th, and from the 19th to the 26th, there's also going to be 2 bundles available. So the bigger bundle is obviously 24,900 doubloons, and the mid-tier bundle, I guess you say, is going to be 19,800 doubloons. So the top-tier bundle is going to come with a memorial flag, 4 UK commander crates, 30 rust bucket camouflages, 3.3 million credits, and a set of rare boosters. Whereas the second bundle, which is the 19,800 bundle, comes with 4 universal commander crates, 20 rust bucket camos, 2.2 million credits, and a set of common boosters. However, Cheshire will also be available by herself for 12,500 doubloons with no end date in sight. So I think, personally, I'm going to pick her up for 12,500. I don't think the bundles are going to be quite worthwhile unless it's a really amazing flag, to be totally honest. Nevertheless, when it's released, I'm curious as to the sonar range. Yeah, no, definitely. It would not make sense to have London sonar without smoke. Yes, no, completely agree. Completely agree. It's just because we've seen that as a possibility, I'm always a little bit cautious as to what they might do. Well, unless anyone has any questions in regard to either the Cheshire or the Halloween patch, I will call it there, chaps. Thank you for coming along, though. It's always much appreciated. To do these crazy streams, I pretty much got to go crack on and get myself a Kraken for the weekly hard mode. I managed to get myself my 10 citadels while playing in the Fiji. That was a really intense game. But yeah, no, I got there in the end. Well, unless anyone does have any questions, I'll start doing the usual goodbyes and thank yous to everyone. So obviously, I'd like to say thank you to A Name That Was and Fast Vegas, Dave, Mixer Gamer, Nathan, Spartacus Squared. I prefer to earn these ships through missions. The Halloween ships or the premium ships? Halloween ships, yeah, no, it would be interesting. But yeah, I think the premium ships are the way they are, and I don't think that's going to change, unfortunately, because they can't give us everything for free, unfortunately. Let's say thank you to Nathan, Next to a Gamer. Thank you, Owen. I know you've gone already, but if you ever tune back in and check this out, you can know that you've been thanked, sir. And I think that is everyone, apart from thank you to Admiral Fluffkins at the very start. Las Vegas, a very informative stream from there, thank you. New to this channel is for console version. Yes, this is a channel for the console version of World Warships Legends, and that is the sole content of the channel, so we don't do anything else on this channel. However, this stream is unfortunately, of course, it's just the end of the stream. But there's lots of videos now on the channel, so you can always go check that out. And hopefully that's going to be all okay. I'd like to say good night to A Name That Was. Well, obviously, if you can, give the stream a thumbs up. It always helps. And if you enjoy this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. And to the subscribers, I'd like to say thank you very much, guys. Until next time, I'm the Gareth Major. And back to the port.